Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast. I'm Matthew Brune, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Colin, how are you doing today? I'm wearing green. I'm vibrant. You're not. You're wearing black hat, gray shirt.
Moments ago, off camera, Bruni was also wearing a dark shirt and said, "You know what? I'm gonna change because we're both wearing dark colors." So
Yes,
I don't want to hear that.
it does
You
not
picked it.
represent my vibe today. This is my vibe. We are wearing our North
Am
Texas
I? Do I sound down?
championship T-shirt. That's what we're wearing today. Look at that, Conference USA champs.
Yep.
Never
Last
forget
year,
that moment. Never forget that moment.
or is that too? I don't remember when that was when we got that
Years
shirt.
ago. This was 2021.
Was it really that long ago?
We didn't get it after the 2020. They won the regular season in 2022, but I didn't. This shirt was the 2021 season.
It should say
This
right
was
on
the
the shirt.
this was the Purdue shirt season. Yeah,
Was it?
2021. Yeah, this was the Purdue one.
Dang, that
This is
was
the
a
one.
long time ago.
Yeah, I think you stole this one out of the locker room. This was the one.
I did not steal it out of the locker room.
Which one did you steal out of the locker room?
I didn't steal any out of the locker room.
Colin, remember after they beat Western Kentucky in Frisco? I
Yeah,
was like,
I
go
got
grab a
those
shirt.
I got those shirts from Luke.
Okay, yeah. It sounds fun.
I
It sounds cooler if I say you stole them, though.
But I no, because I feel like Grant will somehow see this and be like, "What?"
Grant's coming for us.
My character automatically goes lower in his book. There was nothing I
Grant is
could have
too
done that.
busy killing it over at Texas Tech. Shout out to Grant
Yeah,
McCassin,
shout
man.
out Grant.
10-8 in the Big 12 year one. That guy can coach.
One
So,
regret not getting was a hat. If I could steal anything, it'd be a hat. But
yeah, I don't even know. I don't even remember them selling hats, but
I don't think they did. I
sure.
think it was. I tried getting a hat like that the players wore, and they didn't
Yeah.
have any extras. So
Yeah, those.
it is what it is.
It is what it is. All right, Colin. A few things we want to talk about. This is just gonna be a basketball podcast for those who are wondering. Maybe if y'all haven't checked out our Reese Mooney podcast, go check that out. We're gonna have more football content coming up, especially after once the AAC tournament ends, which it'll be going
Mm.
on this week. So we'll know either North Texas season's over or it extends into the NCAA tournament on a run that we will talk about here soon. But first, real quick, we can recap kind of the regular season. Recap the week that was where they'll lose to FAU at home 80-76, beat Rice 71-55 after trailing at halftime, kind of come back and just put the clamps on Rice. Overall thoughts on those games? I guess you watched the FAU one a lot closer than me. I was at practice and then I came home and watched the end. But what were your thoughts?
FAU. It was really upsetting because obviously they only lost by 4. It kind of felt like they lost by a bit more just because John L. Davis was just.
Yeah.
I mean, they tried to clamp him up and it just didn't work. And I don't know if North Texas obviously has Jason that can do similar things like that, but I think FAU is still on a different tier when they want to be, and I think they turned it on against North Texas. So I think North Texas didn't play terrible by any stretch, but FAU I think definitely had control most of the game. And then I didn't really watch a whole lot of Rice. I watched the end of Rice, and so you can talk more about that first half. But second half, they locked down Rice.
Yeah, the second half is much more of what we expect them to do when they play Rice. Rice is a great matchup for North Texas. They don't they're the opposite of those teams like FAU and even like UTSA who we saw get hot. Like they don't really get hot like that. And I know Travis Evie's really good and he can cook at times, but like a lot of their stuff goes through Fiedler in the post, and North Texas usually is able to make them uncomfortable in those spots. And even when they don't, I mean, North Texas will score 70 plus against Rice every time they play. So that was a good win. I'm not going to take that win for granted. Close out the year on the road and get that done. I think overall, just to recap, like the end of the year, since getting Rubin and CJ back, which has been the last 5 games, I think Rubin's 3-point shooting has been kind of a revelation of sorts. Not to say he couldn't shoot before, obviously, but like he's really started to hit his groove there. Went 4 of 6 against ECU, with 3 of 3 against Rice. That paired with his obviously assist numbers, where he had 6 against Tulane, 6 against ECU. I think that's where you start to feel, all right, if they can get him comfortable playing alongside Jason, which has basically been everything, like figuring out the Jason, Rubin, CJ lineups. Once you figure those out, because those are 3 ball dominant-ish players,
Right.
then they're really gonna be clicking, and I think they've figured it out more so. Like, Bugs is obviously off ball, he doesn't need the ball in his hands. Rondell Walker doesn't need the ball, Stone doesn't need the ball, but those 3 specifically are your creators, and so now it's been like, all right, Jason's been so good for so long. Rubin's been able to come in, play off ball, hit open threes. CJ's been able to get his work his way in the post on his Kai Huntsberry. And still, I don't think it's taken away too much from Jason Edwards, who continues to just be fantastic. I had 32 points against FAU, 21 against Rice. We'll talk about him more in a bit, but I think that's been my biggest thing to watch.
Kind of a side note, where is Rondell Walker?
It's a good question. I mean, they're playing. Like, how
Stone.
much did
They're playing Matthew
Stone?
Stone.
Yeah, I know they're playing Stone. Stone played 13 minutes, and Rondell didn't play. So, I haven't seen an injury report or anything like that on Rondell.
Yeah, there was I forgot which game it was. It was either before FAU or FAU. They said that he was going to be back the next game, but they didn't say like it was an injury or anything on the broadcast.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I wasn't
He
sure if
didn't
you
play either game. He
heard
wasn't
anything.
suited up. He was questionable heading in due to illness against FAU, and maybe just held him out against Rice. So if that's the case, if it was just an illness, that's what, a week plus of rest.
Yeah.
So you would hope he's good to go for the tournament. He's not like those 13 Stone minutes probably just end up being 13 Rondell minutes.
Right.
So and we know how McCaslin and Ross are in tournament time. Those starters are playing 35 minutes
Yeah, they're
plus.
playing the whole game.
So, yeah, and that's basically what it was against Rice, right? Jason Edwards 37 minutes, Rubin 36 minutes, Noland 22, Scott only played 22, but he had foul trouble. I'm not too worried about that, but it would be great if Rondell was healthy for this run because they're going to need all hands on deck, and they need to hit their stride. So, yeah, how do you feel about those? I didn't get your opinion on the Rubin and CJ coming back.
I think at first it was hard for Jason to kind of get back into things like you had mentioned. Like you got to balance out because all of them, like you said, need the ball. I think Rubin can play off ball more than CJ can, just because he can shoot the three. But toward the end, I think they did well. Obviously, against FAU, I think Rubin got into foul trouble, so it kind of opened things up a little bit more for Jason. But that is definitely something to watch in the tournament. Are they able to keep? Because it's a fine line, right? You want to make sure Jason's a volume scorer. Like he has to get up shots to score. He's not going to be able to shoot 5 shots and just be super, super efficient. So it's going to be interesting to see how they balance that out. I think the biggest thing for me outside of the guards is I think it's how does Aaron get touches of the ball? Because when Jason when nobody was in the game, you didn't have CJ or Rubin. It was basically a Jason Aaron show in terms of who's going to touch the ball the most. Obviously, you get CJ and Rubin back, and all 3 of those guards ball dominant. How does Aaron get the ball in his hands? Because against FAU, he only had 5 shots, and that's kind of game plan for FAU, right?
Yeah.
But even against Rice, he wasn't foul trouble. He had 10 shots, but Jason had 16, Rubin had 8, CJ had 8. So something has to give in terms of one of those 3 because you still need to make sure you get your shooter's shots. Like Bugs only had 2 shots that game, and played 30 minutes. So it's going to be interesting to see how they balance out the offensive touches between all 4 of those players.
Yeah, I will say it feels like with CJ back, he's kind of become those paint touches that they've missed at times. Like Aaron, we've talked about his struggles from 2. And so it's kind of been like, all right, CJ can get us the back downs or the drives to the paint, and he can spray out to shooters. I think he had 5 assists last game. But yeah, Aaron Scott, I think another thing with him that you can't really overlook at this point is he's fouled out 3 of the last 6 games. And had 4 fouls against UTSA. And if teams run him off the 3-point line, then it becomes a problem, which I think that has to be the game plan when you play against North Texas is not to give Aaron Scott threes because he is a plus 40% 3-point shooter. And FAU, 0 for 1 from 3. ECU, 0 for 1 from 3. And then Rice, because Rice doesn't play defense, 4 of 7 from 3. So, I mean, he's picking up, he's had at least 3 fouls in, what is this, 7 of the last 8 games?
Yeah,
This is,
I don't have
is
the exact stats, but it's something like that.
yeah, I mean, this has become a pretty consistent concern for me. And I know another thing with Aaron is early, and not even early, but up until like the last 6 games of the season, his blocks, he's had like, he would end a game with 2 blocks, 1 steal or something like that. Last, what is this, 6 games, he has 3 blocks and 5 steals. 7 steals, 3 blocks and 7 steals over the last 6 games. So it's like,
yeah.
Is he compensating, trying not to foul? I don't know, but they need him to be. A lot of things have to kind of go right for Aaron to have like those type of games, but they need him to have those type of games if they're going to win. And that's a hurdle he's going to have to overcome, I think, especially once we get into the bracket, like the second round.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Do you think, I think let's on a more micro level, what do you think of Aaron's season as a whole? Not counting these. I mean, obviously we talked about these last few
I
games,
think
but
he's
as a
been
whole,
good.
what do
I
you
think
think?
he's definitely been good. I don't think he's lived up to what we expected him to be. I think we thought his mid-range game would be
Yeah,
sharper. I
offensively
think
for sure.
offensively it'd be a little bit more well-rounded. Right now he's really, like I said before, he's like a great 3-and-D player, which is not really a dig. We just weren't sure if he'd be more than that this year. And now that they have their pieces back at the guard positions, you could argue that's exactly what this team needs. But like I said, I think the defensive end is going to be more than anything where he's going to have to make his money. Like you're going to have to, against FAU or whoever they play in this tournament, he's going to have to be the best defender on the court. You can't
Yeah.
have those games where like against UAB where you get kind of swallowed up and struggle like that. Those can't happen. So I look forward to it. I think Aaron's going to have a great tournament, and he can obviously shoot the heck out the ball. So if they can generate threes for him, I feel really good. But I feel better about him playing off ball and in like a more, pick your spots type of role
Yeah.
in the tournament. All right, they end 17-13 overall, 10-8 in conference play. I texted you if they were fully healthy the entire year. I just don't see a way in which they're less than 12-6 on the year. I wouldn't be surprised if they would have ended up 13-5. Again, like ifs and buts, whatever's. But at the end of the day, second in defensive efficiency on Ken Palman conference and 7th in offensive efficiency. I don't think it was a bad regular season. The loss to UTSA is going to be nasty no matter how you spin it. But
Yeah.
still, you look at all the losses and really none of them are bad besides the UTSA loss. I mean, the UTSA and the Fordham losses are the two that are going to be like,
They sting.
you can't lose
Yeah.
those games. And then you get into all the other games where they had a lead and lose them. I think, let me double check this. Last I saw, they were like 353rd in Ken Palm's luck rating.
Yeah, it's
And
been
they
down
are
there the whole season.
The whole year. They are currently 359th.
Yes,
in luck.
lower. Dang.
So, and again, luck is a term that I think Ken Palm uses to say like you lose close games, basically.
Yeah.
And that's what North Texas has done. They've lost a ton of close games. So one way or
Yeah.
the other, the ball bounce, like the Fordham game, ball bounces their way and they get a dunk at the
I
buzzer.
mean, even the preseason or pre-conference tournament, like
St. John's,
same
LSU.
thing.
Yeah. So let's talk. Okay, real quick before we get to the tournament, Jason Edwards will be first team all conference when the award
Has
came
to
out
be.
this year. Like that's
Has to be.
I don't think it's a debate. I mean, I
It
understand.
can't be a debate.
Right now, Ken Palm's top 5 players in the conference: David Jones, John L. Davis, Jason Edwards, Vlad Golden, Zurge Phelps. Now, I will say I think USF probably gets somebody on the first team just because 16-2 is 16-2 in conference. But like John L. Davis, Jason Edwards, David Jones, to me are the 3 guys that I'm like, those are the 3 best players in the
Yeah,
conference.
difference makers.
Yeah, those are the 3 guys that you're like, they're going to score 20 plus points basically every game. I don't like Charlotte could have a guy maybe on the second team. I don't think they'll have a first team guy. I'm just going down it right now. SMU, if helps, will probably make second team, I assume. Haven't heard much of Lindenberg from UAB. I know he had a couple of tough games, but yeah, since that North Texas game where he put up 26 and 8, he's had a couple good games, but he hasn't really hit that. Against Memphis, he had 6 points and 8 boards. So Jason will be first team a first team All AAC, and then I assume Aaron Scott will be first team defense.
He's got to be first team defense.
No, I think he
has to be first team defense. That's the one thing that has lived up to the expectation this year is his defense. Probably even, I mean, obviously outside these last few games and the foul trouble, but I mean, chase down blocks, like shutting down the opposing team's best player.
He's 8th in the conference in block percentage and 25th in steal percentage. So yeah, those are the only 2 awards I think North Texas will get most likely. I don't think they'll have anybody else on those lists. So we'll see. Also like newcomer of the year, maybe. I don't know how they discern that.
Can you win? Can you? Well, I think Javion won. I guess that's Conference USA, but I think he won 2 of the.
You can win it. It's not just freshman. So
well, no, I'm saying I think Javion won that and Athlete of the Year that year.
I mean, technically, David Jones is new as well, so it'll be one of them, I assume. Okay, let's talk tournament. I accidentally just closed it on my computer.
Wow.
But here it is. I'll pull it up for those of y'all watching because I know we have some people.
Well, that's easier. If I have to pull up on my end, I can just watch the thing.
Bang. Oh, are we too big?
Yeah, no, go back. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here it is. AAC tournament. First 4 games I'm not really worried about. Temple just beat UTSA. UTSA, even with like playing better, still finished dead last. That's how you know that. Sorry. Winner of that game faces SMU. You just want to run through this real quick? I got Rice. I got Temple. My first 2 games.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rice and Temple as well.
All right, Rice.
I really want to like Wichita State, but gotta stick with Rice.
I don't like Rice at all, but I mean, if they lose in the first round, dude, I just will be embarrassed for them. Wichita's not bad. They all finished. I think Wichita, Rice, and Temple all finished with the same record, 5 wins in conference. So it is what it is. Tulsa, ECU. I'm gonna take ECU in that.
I'm also gonna take ECU.
Rice, Memphis. As much as I hope Rice gives them problems. I think Memphis is playing pretty solid basketball right now.
Yeah, they should win that game.
I'm gonna take Memphis. All right, then let's break down Tulane and North Texas in the 7-10 matchup. This is March 14th. So what is that? Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time. I think this is the best case scenario as far as first round matchups goes. I would rather play them than ECU. And actually, you go down like Temple. I'm not worried about. Like, honestly, if I can be honest for a second, I just didn't want to play UTSA somehow because UTSA is just annoying to play because they have Ivy Curry who can put up 30 points to me. Like, is that not North Texas' kind of not weakness, but like
I'm not worried about a 14 seed in a tournament.
I'm just saying those.
If you have any aspirations, you should not be worried about a 14 seed in the tournament.
All right. Okay. Still, they should take care of Tulane. I think Tulane plays the perfect style for North Texas to go up against. Tulane goes at the rim a lot. They try to force fouls a lot. They don't take a ton. They're not a great 3-point shooting team. I think this is they've been, and then you add on their 12th in the conference in defensive efficiency. I think North Texas kind of just matches up really well, which we saw because North Texas beat them twice by 14-4 this year. And also the rebounding. Tulane's the worst rebounding team in the conference. So I think this is the best first round matchup you could ask for.
Out of every team?
Okay, besides the first 4, I guess.
Okay. I was going to say,
besides the first 4, it's better than ECU, Tulsa, and then obviously like SMU.
Oh yeah. I mean, I am kind of worried just because Tulane kind of gave North Texas problems when they played last.
Yes.
They were making a couple crazy threes though. I will say they shot 36% from three,
Yeah.
and my only concern is inside. If Aaron does get in foul trouble, then that's where Tulane can kind of do their thing. So I guess that would be my only real concern, but I agree. I mean, this is a game you should be winning. Hopefully there's no sweat to it, but it is tournament time, so we'll see.
I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Tulane's played against Rubin Jones this year. Did he play the first game? No, he didn't. Yeah, they haven't played against Rubin Jones this year. So first time for Rubin to play Tulane this year. That'll be interesting enough.
Oh no, they played Rubin in the last game.
Yeah, he played the Rubin in the last game. Rubin was the second. That was the second game Rubin was back. So
Yeah.
my fault. All right. Anyways, yeah, I think North Texas takes care of that. I think there's a clear delineation between the top 7 in the conference and everybody else. So yeah, give me North Texas. SMU versus Temple or UTSA, one of the two. SMU should win that game. I will say UTSA just beat SMU in Dallas. So just saying. SMU should win that game. Then we go ECU versus USF. I asked Colin, I was like, is there a way North Texas could drop down to the 8 seed? Because USF has been the best. Like USF deserves the conference title. They do.
Be careful with your words here, Bruni.
But they're the 5th best team in the conference. And that might sound harsh because, yes, they've beaten all the teams that you asked them to beat, but they also had, I think, the easiest strength of schedule in the conference, or second easiest strength of schedule.
So what are your top 4 teams in order? Ahead of them being 5.
Top 4 teams, FAU. Okay, is this specific to North Texas?
Specific to just in general. You got USF number 5. Who are your other 4?
FAU's 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think Charlotte 2, UAB 3, Memphis 4, USF 5. There's my 5.
That seems like a crazy, I guess, power rankings.
I think Charlotte. So here's the thing.
Charlotte 2 is crazy to me.
UAB is a little too inconsistent for me. Memphis obviously also inconsistent. I think Charlotte, at the end of the day, you know what you're getting from them.
That's fair enough.
And they've lost games against Memphis and Tulsa and USF. But and obviously they got swept by USF. But I'm taking Charlotte, and I'm as far as power rankings goes. But again, USF, if I'm North Texas, and this is where I get into the North Texas side of things, I would rather play USF in the quarterfinals than FAU.
Well, of course.
And so that's where we are right now, in that it is going to be North Texas versus FAU in the quarterfinals if North Texas wins its first game. Let's assume it does. And I'm not sure it could be a worse matchup.
I mean,
am I wrong? Like, would
the
you
last
rather
2 games?
playing
No, I mean, it's not really like a rather. Like, I feel like the top, like this conference is a lot harder than last year. So it's not like if I say, oh, I don't want FAU, like I'm not looking at USF just salivating. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just like you're still playing a really good team. Even if you drop down further, like UAB, I'm still worried about UAB. Charlotte, still worried about Charlotte. So there's no like you have to, all roads lead through the top 4 seeds, and they're all really hard. It's not like the 4 seed is. Yeah, I don't think any of these teams are fluky teams.
So I was thinking about this the other day. The difference between Conference USA and the American. Think about this. We would go into the Conference USA tournament saying, all right, there's 4 good teams. And they were really good teams, right? We'd be like Western Kentucky, UAB, La Tech, and North Texas most of the time, right? Maybe early on it was Middle Tennessee or something like that. But those were the 4 teams when North Texas, when they had those battles with Kenneth Lofton and Jelly Walker, and whoever else. This year, like I said, there are 7 teams that you have to kind of navigate through to win. So I agree with you in that sense, in that you were never going to avoid an easier game in the quarterfinals unless if you were the 1 seed, USF, who plays ECU or Tulsa.
Right.
Who they should beat. So everybody else, UAB plays Memphis. Like the quarterfinal round here is incredible basketball. UAB, Memphis, North Texas, FAU, Charlotte, SMU.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all almost top 100 teams, basically. So right here, you enter the quarterfinal saying, all right, now it's just a war of attrition. So I agree with you from the standpoint of you're going to have to beat these teams anyways. It doesn't matter what combination you throw at them.
Right.
My only counter was that if you could find a way to like get FAU to like get knocked out or something like that, and not have to play. I just think FAU is, they've lost 4 straight games to them.
It's hard to beat a team 5 times in a row.
That's gonna be the headline of the podcast. Nobody beats North Texas 5 times in a row. All right.
Well, we still have to get past Tulane, so you know.
Yes. Okay. But if they lose to Tulane, then I'm ready to come on here and just cry. So I'm not even going to consider that.
No, but FAU, they don't match up well, but they also don't match up bad. The games have been close for a reason.
The games have been very close.
It's not like FAU has just like dominated North Texas. True. The last game, like I said, it didn't seem as close as the 4 points that it was, but that's just because John L. Davis, just no matter what you threw on him defensively, just made a bucket, and North Texas couldn't. And not only that, North Texas shooting wasn't amazing. Like CJ Noland against FAU, 2 of 10. Rubin was 2 of 8. Jason was 11 of 21, but he was only 2 of 7 from 3. So there's room for improvement there. And I don't think FAU earlier this season, I don't think Rubin didn't play in that game. Right? Oh, no, he didn't. Did CJ play in that game? I don't think he did. That first FAU game?
I think he did.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, he did. But no Rubin.
No Rubin. So you get Rubin back. There's room for improvement from that last game, and it's tournament time, and we know that North Texas can lock in. FAU also obviously can lock in. So it's not like this is I'm saying it's more 50-50 than I feel like people think it is.
Yeah. The last 4 games, obviously the 4 games that I referenced here, the point differential has been 4, 3, 4, and 4.
Yeah, and one of those is a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
2 of them were a buzzer beater. Wasn't there a buzzer beater last year? Or it was like a last-second shot?
It was pain. They should have won those 2 games last year, and they should have won the first game this year, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, should have. It's what North Texas is. That's what this whole season is. So now it becomes, all right, you should have done this, you should have done this. There's no more real excuses here, because if you lose to FAU by, again, let's say they lose by 2 points and they're right there again, that's what this season is.
Yeah.
The season is, at the end of the day, and I know we've been really, really strong proponents of like, they've been injured. You know, this team at full strength is a different team, blah, blah, blah. Ultimately, the losses that they've had this year, if they don't make a run in this tournament, are honestly like kind of too much to overcome for me to say this was still a good season, right?
Right.
Like the losses are just, they become overwhelming if you can't make a run in this thing. If you, again, lose another tight game, then it goes down the long freaking list of you losing close games. And I don't think this is like a Ross thing still, but this is year 1 for him. And I think he's done the most he can with the pieces that he's had. But as a coach, you got to be like, damn, I should have done this different. I got to make this better. I got to do this better. And to lose those games consecutively every single time just wears on you. So I just think there's a lot for Ross to gain from this tournament if they're able to just get to the semis, even just beat FAU.
So before we pick FAU North Texas, what's your USF versus ECU?
ECU.
You were ridiculous. ECU is not like USF's winning that game.
Okay. All right, pick them. Pick them then. We'll put our brackets.
I am gonna pick them.
We'll fill out our brackets and we'll put them just like we did. We used to hold them up.
USF is what I don't have a printer, so I'm just gonna Photoshop.
You don't have a printer anymore? Okay, yeah, we'll fill them in online.
USF is winning that game.
Memphis UAB.
This is my problem.
3, 2,
I hate Memphis.
1. UAB.
I feel like Memphis is gonna do some winning here.
Okay.
So I don't want them to win, but I think they're gonna win. Memphis, brutal.
Someone get Will on the phone. Colin's got Memphis going to the semis.
Brutal.
All right.
Pick there. Here, we'll even skip it. We'll do SMU Charlotte before we do FAU North Texas.
Okay. I don't think SMU is good right now. I just think they're kind of a shell of themselves defensively. Their offense has been better, but I don't like this SMU team relying on its offense against Charlotte. I think Charlotte wins by 10.
Okay, I will also pick Charlotte.
North Texas FAU.
Can you hear Maya, by the way?
Yeah, is that Maya or is that Bandit back there?
Maya. Bandit doesn't bark at people outside. There's some dude just like walking back and forth out there.
Okay. Do you want to go calm her down?
Sure.
Go ahead. We'll pause.
Oh, he left. He's gone. He's gone. All right. FAU North Texas.
Here's the conundrum I have.
What's stopping you both ways? Unless you just think FAU is going to win.
Here's a conundrum I have.
Kerfuffle.
What? These two teams play 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And North Texas can't win 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I sound silly, but 4 games decided by 4 or less points. North Texas can't catch 1 break. John L. Davis can't miss that 3. Like, what? A double clutch 3 to beat North Texas.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
John Bucks can't hold the ball and stall out for another 15 seconds here. Like, these are the small things. North Texas can't get 1 game where the small things go right for them.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like this should be the year. But I'm taking North Texas.
Yeah, I'm taking North Texas too. Got to. Hard to beat a team 5 times in a row. You know, that's all I'll say.
Put this in a computer generator.
Now,
like where these two teams play. What are the odds you lose 5 straight times to this FAU team?
I will have a caveat here. North Texas can't come out and not play a good game and beat them. Like
they have to play real well. I think FAU has a higher
margin of error.
Yeah, like FAU can come out and get hot for 3 minutes and put this take a tempo
away.
Yeah.
If
this honestly, to a degree, I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on Ross here. You've now had 4 straight games against this FAU team.
Well, he's only
the same
had 2
team as last year.
He's only had
2.
You
have your fully healthy roster now for 6 games after you beat Tulane. You've had them now for 6 games. You should win this game. You're going to be like 5-point underdogs, but at a certain point, man, this year has gone so awry. And like I said, I'm not putting that on Ross. I'm not saying Ross has failed or anything like that as a coach in year 1. I think he's been perfectly fine, if not good. But come on now. This is the 5th attempt at this team in the last 2 years. This is the same FAU team. You're fully healthy. I think there should be some expectation to win. I'm not going to tear down Ross or anything like that if they lose, but there is some expectation to me to win this game. Am I crazy?
No. I mean, when you think about it, let me think real quick. This would be their only good win.
Of the year, you're saying?
Of the year. I'm trying to think of a team.
SMU.
But SMU is I would put them.
So it's basically, Colin, right now their only top 100 wins are SMU and Memphis.
Yes, and the Memphis, it was a good win, obviously, in terms of the talent Memphis has, but Memphis was bad this year.
Their 3rd best win is Northern Iowa.
Yes.
It's not terrible, but that's what we're talking about is every game that they could have or should have won, they've lost, except for the SMU one.
Yeah.
They're 1 in whatever in close games. So now it is FAU, 5th shot at them. Get the win, man. Get the win. I'm picking them. I think they.
All right. They do it. So we got in your case, ECU
No,
versus
wait.
Memphis.
Oh, yeah. We picked Charlotte down
Yeah.
here. Okay.
So you got ECU Memphis. I got USF Memphis. What are
No, I have
saying?
ECU UAB.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Sorry.
taking UAB. I'm taking UAB to the championship game.
Yeah, I'm gonna take I'll take USF here. USF beats Memphis, and then I can see Will on Twitter.
Funniest case scenario would be Memphis making the championship against FAU because how much hate Will has for FAU, and FAU beating them by 30, just blowing them out the water.
It'd be really funny, actually. I think my only real goal outside of North Texas winning it all is just seeing Memphis just blow up.
I would love nothing more than that.
Yeah.
This year has already been.
It's so funny.
It's already been
so
perfect.
Funny.
Like just the way that the season's created for him, and it's not just him. I've seen a couple other Memphis fans that had supreme arrogance going into the year. Right, whenever the AAC would post something, they'd be like, "Don't post us with your Conference USA teams. We are better than y'all." Blah 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 in the non-conference, and then they just come out and get rolled. So this has been terrific from that standpoint.
You know, it's kind of weird that
go ahead.
They say that when you have 3 Conference USA teams in the top 4 seeds.
Yeah, literally.
So I don't know what to tell. Who am I telling this to? But you got everyone else below that. So yeah. Anyways, North Texas versus Charlotte. I'm taking North Texas.
I think this is the worst case scenario. I think Charlotte is.
Why do you think Charlotte's like world beaters? Why do you think they're just the best team in the conference?
Charlotte against North Texas specifically, Colin, the last 2 years, last 3 years, I think even.
I don't care.
Has been a major thorn in the side of UNT. Like, are we just forgetting that? Like, no. I think that the way Charlotte plays, I think I talked to like last year about this, but like the way Charlotte plays is just with the slowest tempo against North Texas. It just gives them problems. It just gives them problems. So I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm still taking North Texas because there's no way. Like, Rubin didn't play, and in that game against Charlotte where they lost earlier this year, you had Rondell and Robert Allen coming off the bench. You started Matthew Stone that game. So North Texas winning that game. Sorry. Jason also only had 11, and Jason's not scoring 11 again against any team.
They held him to 44 points, Colin.
Yeah, but I think that's more of the shock factor that, like, yes, Charlotte's giving them problems, but also, like, this is when everyone believed that Aaron and Rubin were going to be like 1 and 2 or 2 and 1 in terms of scoring, and they kind of had to change their game plan, obviously, with Rubin getting hurt, and then everyone focusing on Aaron early. Jason's been that guy now. Jason is that guy now, and then now CJ's coming to his own. CJ was not good early season. Rubin is somehow a better shooter coming back off of an injury and still his normal self, can still defend. And then Aaron's kind of come into a role where he's able to hit threes and then still score kind of in the mid-range when he needs to. And defensively, he's different. So I think North Texas. Matthew Stone started that game. Matthew Stone's not getting any minutes in that game if everyone's healthy.
44 points.
Who are you going to have score, Bruni? Tell me. Who's scoring against Charlotte, regardless of how well they play defense? You got Aaron, Jason, CJ, Mulai, Rondell, Robert Allen, and Matthew Stone. That's just that lineup.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
I think you're overthinking it. And I think you need to revise your power rankings because Charlotte is not number 2.
I just think Charlotte's pretty good.
You can think they're pretty good.
All right.
Who are you taking?
I'll take North Texas.
I convinced you.
I'll take North Texas.
I rarely do that. I'm kind of proud of that.
I'm looking at more of the stats and everything as I'm just like Charlotte's 276 in the country in 3-point percentage. They shoot 32%. I think North Texas, if they can hit some threes, they'll be okay.
If they can hit some threes.
They still scare me. Charlotte's still scary because I think I talked to Ross one day like a year ago, and he was like, "Yeah, man, Charlotte just keeps, they just work us. Like the defense, North Texas defense is built so teams like take fast shots, I guess. You know what I mean? They kind of makes them uncomfortable to where they take the first open shot. Charlotte just runs that offense to a grind and just it's
Here's
kind
the
of
thing. If you're beating FAU, your expectation should be that you need to run the table.
they're just a different team.
I don't
know.
care. If you beat FAU, your
all right,
expectation,
okay, all right. I picked North Texas.
Like this is the thing. If you pick Charlotte just now and North Texas say they go on to beat FAU, and then we go into Charlotte and you're like, I don't know, man. They just beat FAU, top 25 team, and
third
I think
game in 3 days. Charlotte's a grind.
North Texas is a grind. That's how they play.
Both a grind. Okay, all right. I'll take North Texas. Hurry up before I change my mind.
Okay, well we're on to the next game already. So
I have.
No, yeah, actually, yeah. Dang, it's weird having the double bye thing. So I have USF, North Texas.
I have UAB, North Texas.
You go first.
I'm taking UAB. I love this North Texas team. First of all, 2 things. This North Texas team, if they've made it to this point, is obviously playing very, very well, right? This is reminiscent of when they won the tournament, right, in 2021, where they had to play 4 games in 4 days, and they did it. What it would take for a team that is 359th in luck, that has lost the amount of games that North Texas has lost by, 4 or 5 points, to go on this run, to even make a championship game, I think is tough. To play UAB, who, even more so than Charlotte, is so familiar with North Texas and the way you have to defend North Texas, the way you have to attack North Texas. I think UAB is not. It would be the worst case. I think North Texas would beat Memphis in a championship game. I think they'd beat USF in a championship game. UAB is worst case scenario to me. 0-2 this year. Last year, we obviously know how they played like 10 times. But I just don't think. I think UAB's athleticism. I think Lindenberg takes Aaron Scott out of the game again. I think they have plenty of bodies to throw at Jason Edwards. UAB to me is the worst case scenario for this North Texas team. I'm sorry.
I think what's making me laugh so hard is that you saying, like, prefacing all of this with your power rankings and then hitting me with they beat FAU, me convincing you they'll beat Charlotte because you're so afraid of Charlotte, and Charlotte was number 2 in your power rankings below FAU, and then you go, UAB's taking them out. And I don't disagree. I'm going to preface it saying I think USF beats North Texas and they win the whole thing. But
okay.
But I don't. I also
neither of us have North Texas winning it. Oh my gosh,
they're a 7 seed.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I think USF's a good team.
They are a good team. I have no problems with that.
Better than Charlotte. They beat them twice this year.
Look, from North Texas perspective, North Texas arguably having to beat FAU, Charlotte. Okay, FAU, then the winner of Charlotte or SMU, because SMU would not be a pushover either. That game in general.
I know. None of these teams are pushovers. FAU is the only team I look at and I go, this is a really hard game.
Okay, but again, FAU, then the winner of Charlotte SMU as your second game, and then potentially UAB, Memphis, or USF in the title game. I don't know if North Texas fans understand the lengths that it's going to have to take to win this tournament. This is not what 2021 was, where they were, again, they had to win 4 games 3 days, but their first game
was Rice.
Let me pull that up, actually. It went Rice, then Old Dominion.
Oh, I thought it was La Tech.
And then La Tech and Western Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Like, that was it. And Old Dominion was 152nd in KenPom that year.
Here's the thing.
I'm sorry, it was Middle, then Old Dominion. Because Middle was awful that year. I remember that. Yeah, they blew them out. Already, you're playing Tulane, who's not a pushover. That Middle Tennessee team was was 300th in KenPom. Tulane is 134th in KenPom. So you're gonna have to beat 134. You're gonna have to beat 37. You're gonna have to beat 114.
Is
If
Charlotte
it's Charlotte,
114?
Charlotte's 114. SMU is 62.
You
Okay.
put a 114 team in
Yes.
KenPom
Shut
as
up.
your second best
All
team in
right.
the AAC.
And then you're gonna have to beat USF, Memphis, or UAB.
What's USF in KenPom?
88.
Yeah, they're not 114, are they?
No, UAB is 119, and I'm about to have them winning the whole thing. So here we are.
Yeah, I don't
think it's way
disagree that
down.
I don't disagree that North Texas will lose, but
UAB is way down from their non-conference losses to Southern Miss and Arkansas State.
What's North Texas at?
74.
So technically, North Texas should win the whole thing if they beat FAU because they would be the highest KenPom team, right?
Besides, is Memphis still above them?
I don't know if Memphis
is 71. Memphis is 71. Sorry.
Well, they won't be after they lose to ECU or UAB. Sorry, is what you said.
Yeah. We need KenPom to have a bracket simulator. That's what we need. That's what we need. All right. There it is.
I cannot believe
that's my bracket.
It's crazy.
That's my bracket, and I'm sticking to it.
Your bracket is insane. I don't understand.
Is it, Colin?
You went ECU wins, then ECU beats USF. Memphis loses to UAB. UAB beats ECU, and then North Texas beats FAU. Beats Charlotte.
Yep.
Loses to UAB.
Yes. Correct. That is my bracket.
That is an incredible bracket.
Hey, I just watched the Sun Belt tournament where Texas State made the run to the semis as an 11 seed. Okay, so I don't know what's about to happen. I just know the basketball is going to be really, really good.
I'm excited to watch it.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see that. And also shout out to the women's side. So, I think they start up this week too as a 2 seed. We'll see I think they've already started the first rounds of that tournament. So, yeah, we'll see how they do. All right, this pod went way longer than I thought it was going to go. I was not expecting to go 47 minutes. I thought like 25 minutes.
Yeah, because of your top 5 power. That's just unbelievable. Hey, if you're right, you're right. You know, that's, I mean,
hey, if North Texas makes the championship game here, I do think if they make the title game, they're making the NIT. I think the KenPom and the net and all that stuff will be high enough I think they'll get in the NIT potentially. Like, I think that'll do it. Anything short of that, I don't think so. I don't think so. So, all right, Colin. That's it. That's all we got. 48 minutes. We kept them long enough. Thank you all for joining us. Anything else before we go?
No.
All right. There you have it. Leave us a like, comment, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Follow us on Twitter, X. We'll be live tweeting all the games, interacting. I'll tell you what, if they beat FAU, we'll do an instant reaction podcast. I don't care. We'll do it.
Wow. What a promise to the people.
Yes. Every win after the first round, we will do an instant reaction podcast.
Man, I can't. Well, you might be. I'm surprised you don't got Charlotte t-shirts in your closet. If North Texas beats Charlotte, you might just.
Well, here's the thing, Colin. Actually, I should say this. We'll do a podcast after the FAU game, regardless, because win or lose.
It's the end or it's the start.
It's either going on or not going on. So we'll do a podcast that night, anyways. But yeah, that's all we got. Thank you all for joining us. Tell your friends, send it to your friends. Let us know what you think. Follow us on the Green Room UNT on Twitter or X. And yeah, we will talk to you later.